started learning a little bit of Hebrew, a little bit of Greek, started reading the Bible for myself. Me and him both decided we're going to start from the beginning of the Bible, and we're going to read it from beginning to end, doing a study, beginning to end, like not over a period of a year, but as quickly as we can, beginning to end, beginning to end. And I did this, I would say probably about 2 times. And the second time around, the first time I started noticing some things that did not really sit right with me, but because it was such a large book, I figured, maybe I just missed some things along the way. The second and the third time, the fourth time, is when I really started to pick up there's something wrong here. Because number one, the Bible taught that Noah was an alcoholic, and to me, it didn't fit right, because I had seen family members that had dealt with alcoholism, and an alcoholic has trouble holding down a job at a fast food restaurant, doing simple tasks that involve logical thinking. So now, if Noah was
just to point out, Noah would be one of God's messengers.
Yes, Noah is one of the very earliest messengers. Speaking of in the Bible, he was a very, very early messenger.
We're not just talking about some ordinary man.
No, we're talking about God's prophet. And Noah was actually the one God commanded to build the ark, to save humanity when he destroyed the world with a flood.
Yeah.
So Noah was given the task of saving this world with an ark by building a huge ark all by himself. And I'm thinking to myself, how does an alcoholic accomplish this? Number one, how does he know that it was God speaking to him if he was drunk?
Now, what does the Bible actually say about him drinking?
That he was a drunkard and would be passed out in this drunken state. It refers to him, Noah was a drunkard.
Yeah.
This statement is in the Bible.
It says
Noah was a drunkard.
Okay.
So this didn't make sense to me. How could Noah be a prophet of God, build an ark to save humanity, he was an alcoholic? So, I kind of let that roll off my back. You go a little farther, then you reach like the story of Lot, Abraham and Lot. Lot was the one who was Sodom and Gomorrah, the ones, the cities that were destroyed because of their homosexuality. It is said that Lot's daughters got him drunk, basically doped him up, and slept with him, and then bore children through this incest. And again, this is supposed to be a prophet of God. Then you get to the story of David. David is considered one of the greatest prophets of the Jews and of Christians. David, the one who reconstructed the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. And you get to his story, and his story in the Bible says that he saw a woman, Bathsheba, and she was, laying out sunbathing, whatever, and decided that he could not control his desires, that he wanted her. So he took her, slept with her, basically raped her, decided he wanted to keep her. She was married. And her husband was one of the generals in his army, so decided the way I need to clean this up was he sent a letter to his armies, because they were at war at that time, sent a letter to his generals that when the battle gets fierce, leave Uriah. Just abandon him, let him fight on his own. So that he would be killed, and now he could have Bathsheba legally. And I'm thinking to myself, this is stuff you see on America's Most Wanted, This is stuff you see on FBI Most Wanted list.
Now, just to note that many people don't read the Bible, so they don't see these stories. They usually go to church and people will take certain verses and recite certain verses, but you actually went deep into it, so you got to see the whole picture now.
Yeah, I got to see the whole picture, and all of these things did not sit right with me, because I said to myself that these are supposed to be prophets. These are supposed to be the people who are supposed to guide me to the right character, These are supposed to be people that, for the Jews, because, as a Christian, I believe that the Old Testament was for the Jews. It was not for Christians. It was for Jews. But this was supposed to be the guiding post for the Jews. But these people were worse than people I've known that have spent their whole life in prison. These are people that not only would I not want to follow them, if I saw them on the street, I would turn and run the other way and go probably call 911 or America's Most Wanted, because they got to be on somebody's list. So that was the first thing that said to me, something has to be wrong here. Either the stories are wrong, or these people can't be prophets. I mean, this just can't be. So finally, you get to the New Testament. Then you get some of the books going back. You get some of the books like the Book of Ruth. The Book of Ruth does not even, the word God is not even in it. It's a story about two people who fall in love, and it has no, if you read it, it has you would think you're reading a romance novel. There's nothing about God in it.
This is one of the books in the Bible.
Yeah, it's a book in the Bible. The word God is not even in it. God is not even referred to in the book. And then there's other statements which I would not repeat that are pornographic in the Bible, you know, that speak about, you know, David sleeping with this woman and then spilling the semen. I mean, it's just, these are things I would not read to my children. So I got to the New Testament, and in the New Testament you're like, you know, there's a little breath of fresh air, you know, because you make it through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But then as I start reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I started noticing something that seemed weird, was that, okay, all these guys are saying the same thing in a sense, but they're repeating themselves. Like Matthew and Luke are repeating the exact same things that are in Mark, so it looks like they're copying from Mark. And then you get to John, and John is a whole other story. So I'm saying that all these four guys saw the same person, saw the same events, but told them all in four different ways. You know, like this doesn't, like which one is the correct story?
Things that if you were in a court of law, it would